up? This is DK and Shade from TacoYaki Anime.
Yo!
Welcome back to another episode 63 of Monthly Ketchup.
Are we going to do something special for 69? I mean, you just said the episode immediately. That was my first thought, so I just want to know. Are we planning on doing something special for 69? Because I'm all about that.
I guess.
That's the teacher to that, but go ahead. Random thought in my head, I know.
Yeah, today's episode we're going to be talking about the upcoming shows for summer 2020.
Right, at least the ones that we can consider we know about coming out for that.
Yes. Basically, this is what is on Annie chart. One show that we know has already been delayed to fall, so we'll talk about that when that one comes up. But
so should we kind of start talking about that? Because you said you wanted to mention that.
Okay, yeah. Delays. There's a lot of delays.
Mm-hmm.
Year's been very, very crazy.
A little bit.
The one show that we were going to be talking about that is going to be delayed is, I think it's the second to last one.
Yeah, I think so.
Nope.
Or is it the last one?
No, it's the fourth to last one.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Sword Art Online.
My last one. But...
Yeah. Sword Art Online, Alicization, World the Underworld Part 2.
Yeah, I'm highly disappointed in that. I get it. I'm not going to complain about the fact that, it's not my call to make in that regards, but can't say that I'm not disappointed in the fact that it's not going to be a thing, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've watched all of season 1 of Sword Art Online, the original. So, I am part of the way there.
You're getting there.
Yeah. So, Ray actually decided to join. Well, I took over the TV in the living room, so she just watched it with me because the projector's broken. Still, I don't know. Yeah. So we've been watching that. She likes it, so we're gonna continue on to the other seasons. But yeah, I should be ready. Should be ready as long as nothing crazy happens. I should be ready for this arc whenever it releases. There's been quite a few other shows that have been delayed, and yeah, what was it that we were?
Well, I know it's supposed to be this year, but I think also got delayed. I want to say was Slime.
Okay, yeah, I remember Slime coming up. And,
that's now been delayed till 2021. I want to say.
Okay. Okay. I remember what I was thinking about when I wanted to save it. So I wonder how far out shows were planned for airing. And because things are being pushed back for health reasons and stuff like that, I'm wondering what stuff is getting pushed way far out, but then also what stuff is like just going to completely lose its slot that it had before.
Well, and it seems kind of interesting the fact that Food Wars started with 2 episodes, and then because of all this going on, it's been on hiatus since then.
Yeah.
So.
Because I know, a lot of shows they the manga is being worked on, and sometimes the manga and the TV version of it is some being worked on in parallel. May not be at the same time, but there's a time gap. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if everything is being pushed completely back, or are some things being pushed back? So then you're like, okay, well the manga's out, so everybody will read the manga all the way through, and they'll know the story. So then when the anime comes out, it'll be the situation where there's some shows where like this is a show from a manga from back in the 80s, and now we're doing the anime now, where there'll be a huge gap instead of it being worked in parallel, kind of like let's say Full Metal Alchemist, where it was worked on in parallel, and the anime just caught up, and they're like, okay, well, we'll just make something up for the show, and then later on, when the manga actually finished, then the show comes out and it follows the manga more. So I'm wondering, like,
God, I hope not.
yeah, I'm like,
that's how long a delay that would end up being for some of these. That would just be huge delays.
Yeah, because I'm wondering like how many shows were like they were originally planned for parallel production, and then now it's like, well, that manga is gonna be finished because we can work with that because we don't need as many people, and the anime version will just be put on whenever it's safe to do so. I'm wondering like how much is gonna affect the industry, because
I'm sure a lot.
Yeah,
I'm 99% certain that this whole virus situation is just going to have a huge impact on the industry, just from how much of an impact it's having on the rest of the world.
Yeah,
you can't. I mean, you can't. Otherwise, it's just if it wasn't going to have as huge an impact as it is, there wouldn't be these delays.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, as far as the impact goes, it's like, are there some shows that we'll just never see because they had their one slot and it would just like it just got replaced by another show that already had a previous slot, and then how many older shows are getting their second chance where it's like, well, I've watched everything that was able to be produced now. Let me go back to this backlog that I would have never gotten to because so many different shows get produced. So I'm like,
no, you're right. I'm pretty sure. But see, I think the biggest thing above all, kind of the we're saying when we were talking about, is that now I want to say that at least for the next until the new year, I will wager until the new year, a lot of the titles that we're going to be seeing, if they do come out, are end up going to be sequels to other series that have already been out, because now they're not going to have that luxury of being able to be like
about a lot of new IPs.
Oh, I can take a chance on this new IP and see how it goes. But if it doesn't go too well, I'm not going to be like detrimental as far as that goes.
Okay.
And I think that's going to be the same for a lot of other companies and a lot of other like industries as well too. They're going to have to go along with more of the safe bet than trying to allow something new to take place.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't really think about how like the industry's kind of been comfortable. Like, all right, summer, 60 new shows, and now it's like we gotta be safe. We gotta play it safe because not only is it production delays, it's financial issues and stuff like that. So.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, today we have 14 shows. Well, 13 now. This was one of the 14. And let's see how this new season's going to go. The first show we're going to be talking about is Decadence. So
I immediately saw like the first 10 seconds of the trailer, and without even having to look, knew this was going to be on your list. Just immediately knew.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to question it. It's like, is this going to be on Big D? Yep, no, this is going to be on Big D. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I need to find my notes. There you are. Yes, so this reminds me of so many different things. This show reminds me of Steam Boy. It reminds me, like, the character styles and some of the artwork remind me of Studio Ghibli film. So, wow, Studio Ghibli films,
Mm-hmm.
and just everything in the trailer just looked epically steampunk. So,
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And that to me was a huge draw because I mean, shoot, how many animes out there even go for steampunk these days?
yeah. So, yeah, the studio who did this one is Studio Nut.
Yeah, that one a little surprised me too. I was like, when it flashed up on the screen saying what studio this was, I was like, wait, say that one more time.
I'm actually trying to see if they did Yojo Senki. Oh, okay. They worked on Fully Cooley Alternative, which is awesome because I love the Gynex style, and if they can help with that, that is awesome. But okay, I'm like even more excited. I love Yojo Senki. Was Yojo Senki supposed to come out this year? I know it's supposed to be coming out soon, season 2. But
I think so.
Oh man, yeah, Yojo Senki was great. Okay, so for Decadence, also the name, I kept calling it Decadence, and then when I was putting all these graphics together, I was like, oh, it's an E. Okay. So, there we go. Many years have passed since humanity was driven to the brink of extinction by the sudden emergence of an unknown life form, Gadol. Those humans that survived now dwell in a 3,000-meter high mobile fortress, Decadence, built to protect them from the Gadol threat. Denizens of Decadence fall into 2 categories: gears, warriors who fight the Gadol daily, and tankers, those without the skills to fight. One day, Natsume, a tanker girl who dreams of becoming a gear, meets Surly Kaburagi, an armored repairsman of Decadence. This chance meeting between the seemingly 2 opposites, the girl with a positive attitude who never gives up on her dreams, and the realist who has given up on his, will eventually shake the future course of this world. Okay. Cool. Kind of reminds me of what's that other show? Doggy Style Robots. What is it called? Crap.
Oh, Doggy Style.
I can't remember what's the name of it. But it's like all the citizens are in this giant place and there's monsters outside. It reminds me of that.
They don't have Doggy Style robots though.
That's a good thing.
I will say that yes, the story doesn't, well, at least the synopsis that they give doesn't really give a whole lot. So I'm not really sure how the story is potentially going to pan out on that because they're kind of leaving it very ambiguous in that regards. But it doesn't necessarily seem bad either because it seems like kind of your everyday hero kind of story. And I'm okay with that. I have no issues with that whatsoever. So I guess we're just going to have to see what they do with it, to be completely honest.
Yeah, it's kind of like this whole it's been set in the prophecy that these 2 will meet and the world will change. It's it seems like it's going to follow that kind of story.
Yeah.
I am curious with the and also like how the girl, she has like, I have all these dreams and aspirations of what I'm gonna do in the world, and then she gets out into the world and either the world knocks her down or she is a prodigy and like just
I will say after having watched the trailer for that, It kind of weirded me out when they said she was a girl. Because I didn't see it. I thought it was a boy.
I probably didn't see it either.
It was just one of those things. I'm looking at going, is that? No. Is it? That totally threw me, and I didn't even think about it until after the fact of having watched it, after reading what they were talking about, and I'm like, how is that? No.
You'd be like, where's the girl? They didn't show the
Where's
girl
the
in the trailer.
girl? They didn't show the girl.
But yeah. So why is this show on your list? Oh my god, it just looks really, really cool. Like I don't even know what it was about. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm watching this. Write this down right now. It is epic. Yeah, I look forward to this one when it comes out. The next show we're going to be talking about is and then the Showboat High new show, or Fire Force Season 2.
You never watched season 1.
I watched the first episode of Season 1.
You didn't watch season 1, though.
I know.
I'm going to tell you right now, I've barely watched it. I watched the first 5 or 6 episodes of that. Don't watch the first episode of this. Don't watch the first episode of this.
Don't spoil myself, yeah.
You're going to spoil the crap out of yourself if you watch the next episode. Because you'll have no idea who all these people are that they're going to be introducing.
I was watching the trailer and they're like, oh, and then the next summoning of this person. I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
yeah, exactly. If you ever intend on catching up with this, don't watch this one, the first season of this, because I know like half the characters that are on there, on the thing from Annie Chart, and I'm still looking at going, yeah, I need to finish watching that before I watch that, because, oh my god.
Yeah. So, I have seen the trailer, and like maybe seeing a spoiler, but not knowing enough information to know that it was a spoiler. Oh, they're cool. I remember her, and she's probably not even in the first season. But yeah. So this show was really cool. The first episode seemed like a finale because of how crazy the fights were and how powerful all the characters were. So I don't remember why I didn't drop it. Probably just from time constraints. But I will pick it up and watch it so I can be caught up for the second season.
Because, yeah, I mean, there are some... just because I spend most of my time on YouTube and they spy on me and that I watch anime, they have a lot of recommendations about certain things, and one of them being some clips from certain shows, and this was one of them. So I know certain things that happen throughout this.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the reason why I wasn't necessarily like gung-ho about going back to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I know there's a second season coming out, now I'm like, I should probably finish that.
Yeah. So, yeah. What is the show about? The synopsis says it's the second season. But basically a little recap from what I remember is that there are these fire elementals that take over people's bodies, and there are other people who have some of those attributes, and they protect everybody from, well, they don't do a good job protecting everybody. Because I do remember that there was this one person inside of a subway train or some kind of train, and he burst into flames and started burning everybody around him. And they weren't concerned with the people in the train. They're like, oh, the fire elemental guy, let's go fight him. And I'm like, somebody rescue these people inside the train?
I mean, technically speaking, that's not necessarily their job. Their job is just to annihilate the fire spirit elemental dealy bobbies.
All those poor charcoal people.
Yeah, they're already dead. It's fine. They're already dead. It's fine.
Like, it was quick. It was just poof.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Um, and how do I think I play? I don't know. I haven't watched the first. There's a new person in town, and the story's gonna progress. There we go.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the main character is cool. He has an interesting, quirky personality because apparently even when he's, no matter what emotion he has, he's always smiling.
Yeah.
And not just like, just a mouth smile. No, he goes full on tooth, jagged teeth, smiling.
Yeah.
Usually it's when he's like pressured or in distress or angry or something like that. So it comes off as even creepier.
Yeah.
I think people called him like the devil or something like that, or I don't know. I have to go back and watch it. But there's a lot of and see, because I didn't know necessarily what to expect from the show, it took me off guard because I didn't know where we were at with like there's a lot of like behind the scenes stuff happening that you don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh, we're more like you just think of this like just a fight 'em shonen anime or whatever." Like, no. This is more like uncovering a mystery while trying to save people, kind of. And I'm like, oh, okay. I say bad about it, just it wasn't what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. I want to get back to it. As soon as I saw that trailer, I was like, oh, I gotta have time now, kind of. But yeah. Next show we're gonna be talking about is GBate.
I gotta tell you, the synopsis intrigued me.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer completely made me want to ignore the whole thing.
Do you remember the name of that show that it has? It's kind of like Seven Samurai, where it's like well, not, I guess it's two different factions, and they're trying to gather their warriors to fight against each other because it's been prophesized or something like that. There's one show that this show really reminds me of from the art style.
From the art style, it reminds me of Fist of the North Star.
Okay.
And I just look at it like, I'm not about that. No. Totally not about that.
I just can't remember the name of that show. But basically, my thoughts from the trailer are it reminds me of that show. There's this one studio that has like a specific style, and I don't know if it's which studio went out of business. Was it Manglo? I feel like it started with him. Definitely wasn't Madhouse. But I feel like that studio also did stuff like Wolverine and like some of the other Marvel characters. And the style that they have is like, if they do a show, one of the characters is gonna have like super thick curly hair, and then another character is gonna be like just super duper buff and like scary. Scary as in like he's gonna do something to gross you out, or he's gonna hurt you real bad. And then like the style that I get from them is like their eyes seem shiny, like the whole eye seems shiny. There's a huge highlight, but like the whole eye is shiny. Like it's a specific style, and I can't remember the name of the show or the studio that has done stuff like that because I haven't watched stuff like shows from that studio in a long time.
Yeah. don't know. The old style that it has in it just really threw me. I feel like I wanted to try to watch to feel like I could watch this, but the style that they have in it, it just. I mean, that's the same way I felt about oh shoot, that one with the girl in black who was like a fighting anime. Um, I know it's been mentioned before with another anime that came out that same season. There's a little confusion around the naming for it, but anyways, it was overly saturated, overly stylized, and it just completely threw me off. And then now we have this one that is like a throwback to days begone, like type of animation, which normally I'm okay with, but I don't know, the way they did just really threw me.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I feel like I don't remember a lot about this studio is because I can never keep up with their shows. Like I'll start it and I'm like, oh okay, this is gonna be like a really aggressive show, and then it's like, yeah, we're aggressive, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go watch this one because it's happier. So
be happy.
Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna keep up with this one, but I do know that it looked interesting.
I give you that.
The studio who did this one, which is not the studio that I'm thinking of, is called Launchbox. And this is the only show that they've done, which makes me very suspicious that it's like the new main globe, but I'm not sure. The synopsis for this show is, in 2030, Japan, a virus has infected humans throughout the world. Infected people turn into different forms of monsters based on their ages, sexes, races, and races. The virus is named Gibia. After being rich in variety, like Gibia. What? Oh, the virus is named Gibia after being rich in variety, like Gibia. Just then, a pair of samurai and ninja appeared in such blighted wasteland of Japan. They both traveled from early Edo period, fighting together with the help from a doctor who tries to find the cure for Gibia. I want to call it Amphibia, like bone. Facing ceaseless attacks from Gibeas and outlaws that attack travelers for food, they start their dangerous journey with enemies all around. Okay, yeah, it follows the same trend of like that the old studio does. So I'm gonna check it out because it looks action packed. But
it does look action packed. It does.
But yeah,
that art style just throws me.
But if he asked, "Are you gonna keep up with this one?" I'm like, and he said, "Edo period."
Probably not.
Why is it on my list? Action packed. Yeah. How do I think the story will play out? I feel like we're gonna have our team of people who are fighting the monsters. It's gonna be Monster of the Week, and then one of them is gonna get Gibia, and it's gonna be bad. And then they're gonna cure it somehow, and then they'll save the day.
I mean, that's probably about as close as you're gonna get for any sort of. Just because the story itself, which isn't bad, but it's very plain, I would say. I don't know. It may go more in depth as you watch it and actually be able to give more of a feeling of just the, I don't know, the badness of that it's all around. But at the same time, I'm just like, I can't.
Yeah, that's kind of like the stereotype that I've built in my head for a show that looks like that. It's based in like anime from the 90s or late 80s, and those stories weren't very complex. They were just action-packed and violent. So, it's 30 years from then, so let's see if they put a little bit of a twist on it.
You'll have to let me know.
The next show we're going to talk about is Kanojo o Karishimasu, or Rent a Girlfriend Kanodakai. So,
I honestly debated this one.
okay.
Honestly did. But I felt like I'd get too annoyed. Like all the fun would be taken out of it, and I would just be super annoyed about this whole what seems to be a very weird process that they're going through.
Yeah, I just watched the trailer and I was like, "Oh, cool, another romance show." So I actually don't know. Then from the English title, I was like, "This is going to be different." But yeah, synopsis. Actually, who does this one? This one is done by TMS Entertainment. This is the Pokemon people.
Oh, so you're never going to see it. Well, I'll take that back. They did Dr. Stone, and that was on Crunchyroll. So
actually, no, it's not the Pokemon people. I think that's a different. I think that's Oriental Light and Magic.
Mm.
Okay, yeah, this is a different studio. Okay. Well, I think I might. Oh, they did Banyanya. Banyanya. Okay. Not anything standing out like. Oh, Megalobox. Okay, but it's romance. Real life. They did real life. Okay.
Oh yeah, they've done some decent ones.
Okay. Yeah, it's like a pretty good caliber show. The synopsis for this is: in today's Japan, rental services can deliver an afternoon with a friend, a parent, even a fake girlfriend. After a staggering betrayal by his girlfriend, hapless freshman Kazuya gets desperate enough to try to gets desperate enough to give it a try. But he quickly discovers how complicated it can be to rent an emotional connection, and his new girlfriend, who's trying to keep her side hustle secret while, wait. Yeah. What kind of sentence? There's like 8 commas in here. Okay, let's try this again. But he quickly discovers how complicated it can be to rent an emotional connection. And his new girlfriend, who's trying to keep her side hustle secret, will panic when she finds out her real life and Kazuya are intertwined in surprising ways. Family, school, and life all start to go wrong too. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like it'd just be more of a headache for me watching this one.
So, this seems like a weird, crazy situation, kind of like that domestic girlfriend one, where like the guy dated this one girl, and then he ended up finding out that his parents married that girl's mom, so they end up being brother and sister. And then the younger sister.
I didn't see that was going there. Jeez. Yeah. That reminds you of that?
Well, it reminds me of like a complicated situation where it's like this girl's just like, I need extra money, so I'll just work for this like girlfriend rental service, and I'll do like that. But then she finds out that's
even the case.
Yeah, it finds out that like some kind of twist is gonna happen, and they're like intertwined. So I'm like, oh, okay. I wonder if it's gonna be as jarring as that other one.
Probably.
Because I'm like weird twists and knots. I'm like, that's the bar for me right now. So, and I think also like the girl also ends up being his teacher or something like that. It's a mess. So, Yeah. Or she's a teacher at his school, something like that. Yeah. Um, yeah, this looks interesting because of that. Uh, why is it on my list? Romance. And how do I think it's gonna play out?
Romance. Thumbs up.
I really hope that it's like a crazy, like not like is his cousin that he never met or something, or like he starts dating this girl and like his parents get married. I don't know. Like, I don't know. It needs to like pass that bar. Like that bar is like I was shocked when I found out. So when they're like, oh, and it's a weird coincidence, I'm like, all right, what you got? Because
lay it on me.
Because this bar is really high. So yeah, I look forward to seeing what this show is gonna throw as far as like weird coincidences like that. But yeah, the next show we're gonna talk about is Lapis Relight. All right.
And this is definitely one of yours.
Yeah, I have it on my. What is it? It's an idol anime. So
definitely one of yours on this.
Yeah, I'm not really into idol anime unless the characters are really, really interesting. So this show has a quite like it has a bar that it needs to reach also. I can't remember the name of the other show, but they have really cool characters. It's like one of the big. It's not. Even though that is one that I'm comparing it to. Sunshine, not sunshine. What is it? It's done by Sunrise. Love Live. There we go. Yes.
Yeah, don't expect me for help on those.
Yeah.
I never on that.
Yeah, I think Sunshine is like one of their movies or something. But yeah, so it's like Love Live where each character has their own little like specific trope that they fit in or character quirk, and the overall goal in Love Live was like we gotta win so our school can keep our program. I don't really know what the whole thing is for this show, but I feel like it's like a mishmash of people who didn't really know that they were going to be in an idol group or something like that. But yeah, it looked interesting. The art style looked pretty cool, so I was interested in looking at it. And it doesn't look like it has a synopsis.
No, it really didn't.
Yeah.
Even the trailer is just all sorts of just like, wait, what? Because it shows in the very beginning her dropping some crystal in some sort of vial. It's like, what does this have to do with? All right, cool.
Yeah, even Mal doesn't have a for it.
Mal's like, I got nothing for you, man. I'm sorry. I got nothing. I don't even know what to say to you about this one.
We don't even know if it's gonna air it in the fall or in the summer.
But it has cute girls doing cute things, so you'll like it.
Yeah. So the studio that has done this is Yokohama Animation Lab. And they oh no.
I like that. Immediate dejection.
I've seen somebody talk about this show, and I'm like, okay. In 2019, they did a show about tights, and they did Monster Strike. I don't think I've watched the movie, but I saw the trailer. Trailer looked cool. This will be the first show that I'm actually watching from them, so let's see what you got.
Agreed.
How do I think the show's gonna play out? I think that it's gonna be just like any other idol show where you have all these different people from different walks of life, different like quirks and everything, and they're all gonna meet. And either you're gonna have a main character who's like the least unique out of all of them, and she's gonna slowly develop a personality, or you're gonna hop from one character to the other because there's gonna be so many characters that you just have to spread the attention across all of them. So you'll just be constantly hopping between different points of view and different like quirks and stuff like that. And
I kind of hate that way though. To be completely honest, like, books that I've read have just been so cut and dry. Yet burritos and Arrows, just you never know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. It's like a new iteration of something I've seen before, so I'm basically there to see if they do anything different.
Yeah, I don't know. Considering their pedigree, I guess I don't know if you should really expect things too high.
Okay.
I'm just saying. I don't know if you really want to reach too high on that one, but I don't know. Seems like this was one of those like we were talking about before with animes and things and going on right now that they're like, you know what? This is a safe bet. We've done these before. Let's just roll these out. Let's just throw another one out there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. The next show we're going to talk about is Mao Gakui no Futeki Gosha, the misfit of Demon King Academy.
So, this show is being done by Silverlink. I don't dislike Silverlink.
Silverlink is the pink studio.
But they haven't done anything necessarily that, like, wows me. I did want to watch Ite no wa Ria Nano, the whole bunch of stuff basically with the girl with the...
Oh, they did this one? Okay.
They did that one. So I did want to watch that one, but I never got the opportunity to watch that one.
Yeah.
And I heard things about that one.
Animation.
Yeah. So I'm curious where this. They seem to have a decent enough grasp on fantasy-esque type shows.
Yeah.
Which is definitely where this comes from, and I'm all about that. So we'll see where this one goes. The synopsis for this one is: despite their appetite for destruction, even Demon Kings tire of all the blood and chaos sometimes. When Anoth reincarnates in the hopes of a more peaceful life, he ends up going to school with his descendants in his old castle 2,000 years later. But with magic on its last legs in this era, no one is able to assess Anoth's true power. That seems interesting to me. I don't necessarily know where they're going to go with it. Especially looking at the picture that they have on AnyChart for this thing. Because I'm like, sounds like we're going to be in... I mean, I can see where the thing comedy and fantasy come into play. But then looking at the two girls in there, I'm like, are we going ecchi in this as well? What's going on here? You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. I hope they don't play it off in that way. I hope it's just more of just a lighthearted comedy with like fantasy elements established and stuff like that. Sort of in the same realm as the Demon School one from last season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of hoping, but we'll see.
Like that one where the Demon King saved that one girl.
No, I'm hoping in the same light of that one where the kid got kidnapped by one of the demon lords and brought into the demon world. And
the grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping like when they say comedy, I'm hoping like we're somewhere along those lines. Yes, it
Okay.
is like it sounds like it's going to be like a school type situation. Yes, we've had a million of and 10 of them before, but
Mhm.
you throw something at least somewhat interesting into it, and the fact that they're involving magic, and apparently this place is supposed to be able to ascertain the extent of his power, and they can't. I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, let's see where this goes. You know, do I expect great things of this? No, because it's Silverlink. I don't ever necessarily expect absolutely amazing things of this. Do I expect it to be bad? No, because again, it's Silverlink. They've done decent shows,
Yes.
so
The
that's why. Huh?
grandfather one,
No, they didn't do that one.
Kenja Nomaga, grandson, magic something.
No, they didn't do that one because it's not even on. Oh, that's a different one. That's a different one. What I'm referring to.
Ah, okay.
No, no, no. The one that I was referring to. Now you're gonna make me go all the way back and look at it.
They didn't mix a bunch of colors. Kiki, you need to watch that one.
What they did. Oh God, how far back was it? Uh, Shoot, it's on my freaking Crunchyroll thing. Let me just look that up. Welcome to Demon School, Iramakun.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this is demons, and it's comedy, lighthearted, showed him in his day in life and everything. You know,
Okay.
if that's what we're going for in this, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
It's not going to be anything great, but I'm still okay with it. You know what I mean?
Did you ever finish the sage's grandson or the other like eight synonyms this website has for it?
Yes, I believe I did, but they left it on like a cliffhanger.
Ah,
One of those
okay.
situations where I think they didn't necessarily know how they wanted to do it, anything further with it. So just like, just leave it there. It's fine.
Okay, so you're saying that was also just another just okay show?
Yeah, that was just another okay show.
Okay.
I said none of the shows that I have seen from them
Mhm.
would I necessarily say are bad, but none of them have been amazing either. Death March was another fantasy one. So and then when we were talking about Kenjo no Majo, that's another one.
Mhm.
Um, Isekai Shokudo, that's another one. Um,
Okay. I
yeah,
would
they've
add
all these they've all been decently enough fantasy ones,
uh-huh.
just nothing like groundbreaking kind of thing.
Okay. I would actually give this studio a couple stars for getting me into a fantasy show, which is the I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Mm-hmm.
Because that one actually, I'm in all the way. But yeah,
They also are the ones that did Kokono Connect.
yeah.
That's going way back there, but yeah, they're the ones who did Kokono Connect.
Um, how do you think this one's gonna play out as far as this story?
Mm, I mean, either it's going to be a situation where it's going to be the harem type show, fall in love, gets all these girls coming after him kind of situation, or, which I don't want it to be,
Hmm.
or it's going to be just kind of like a day in the life of this kid who doesn't know that he's necessarily the reincarnation of his long descendant of the great powerful demon king or whatever. He's just knows that he can do things most other people can't,
Hmm.
and just kind of goes along from there.
Okay.
So that's why I said it. That's almost in the same line of reasoning as the other one I mentioned before that I wanted to kind of be the Ian Makun one. It's because it's like he has some abilities he's been learning and growing and dealing with, but it wasn't like a situation where like he just like I'm a badass straight from the get go. You know what I mean? It's just like no. You work up to that shit.
Okay.
You work hard for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where Kenjo no Majo kind of fell a little bit off short of. I mean, they did kind of show him training and doing certain things, and I get by the fact that he was originally a person from another world, his understanding of the way physics and other such things differs from what the people in the world that he currently resides in is. So he's able to pull off spells that no one else could ever do, only because his line of thinking is different.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Okay.
Now it sounds to me like they're gonna here's another one where it's supremely powerful, but I'm like, all right, but don't just make him powerful and know everything that he can do and everything. Make him like powerful in the fact that like he does certain things and then doesn't necessarily know how he did them or why he did them, but he just knows that he can do them kind of thing.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, kind of like
I would like to see him grow into it.
Yeah, or at least where we know why he's that powerful instead of him just being that powerful. Like like the other characters may not know, but at least we're in on it.
Yeah,
that's one thing that kind of like keeps me along with some shows where it's like, why though? I'm like, yeah, that's cool and all, but why though?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that.
The next show we're going to be talking about is Monster Musume no Oshasa, or Monster Girl Doctor.
Which I am 100% thoroughly surprised that you went along with this one. I know why I went along with this one. I know, and it's no for, even though it does say it's ecchi as far as one of the taglines for this goes. Well, let me first start off by saying this is being done by Arvo Animation, and they have done very little. And I mean very little. I mean very little. 1, 2, 3, 4, literally 4 other shows since 2018 before this. So fairly new studio.
So okay, I'm trying. I'll try to pull it up so I can see what shows they've done. I think 3 of these shows are the same show.
Basically, yeah. One's an OVA, and then the other one looks like the season 1 and then season 2.
Okay, yeah. So I've seen parts of the one that they did where the blue-haired girl has her mouth open. She doesn't talk, I don't think. Yeah. So, we've come across a couple shows so far that the studio has only done like a couple shows, and I feel like it's an unfortunate because if there were any studios that would lose their slot and like not be able to get it back, I feel like it would be studios like some of the ones that we've covered so far. Because it's like, over the last couple of years, they're like starting to build up more and more shows, and then now slots are going to be limited for a little bit. So yeah.
So, anyways, getting into this, the synopsis for this one is: in the town of Lindworm, where monsters and humans coexist, Dr. Glenn runs an exemplary medical clinic for monster girls with his Lemmy assistant, Siffy. Whether receiving a marriage proposal by a centaur injured in battle, palpitating the injury of a mermaid, or suturing the delicate wounds of a flesh golem, Dr. Glenn performs his job with grace and confidence. But when an unsavory character seeks to steal a harpy egg, how will the unflappable Dr. Glenn respond? So, this is kind of what I'm thinking here, and I may be completely wrong on this, and it could be completely different, but I kind of see this as a mixture between Monster Musume, the one with the girls who monsters were then like in our world or whatever, our time frame, and he was kind of like taking care of them, getting them acclimated to our world or whatever, basically, and they all kind of fell in love with him, granted, but and then also that one that I really liked, which was the one with the teacher who he had a whole bunch, I think four girls in his school
Mhm.
who were monsters, demi-humans they called them.
Yeah.
And he was learning more about them through his interactions and trying to kind of just help them out as best he could, decipher some things for them, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the reason I say this is because like some of the things that they were talking about, where he's talking about a centaur that was injured in battle, and I saw him like be shoeing a centaur, and I'm like, well, technically speaking, yeah, because centaurs are horses, and they do have to get shoot every now and then because essentially they'll get things, especially depending upon where they're running. Like there are certain avenues I'm looking at it going, well, that actually makes sense and everything, but
Mhm.
in a fantasy setting, I mean, how many times have you seen a centaur in even in even that one anime for like the centaur girls or whatever weird thing that was.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
um, they don't always explain things like that. They don't always think about like the realistic happenings behind certain things. Where you're like, well, yeah, because technically centaurs are horses, so technically, yeah, they would have to get shoot every now and then because they would get things stuck in their feet and become extremely painful for them and everything. And then talking about palliating the injury of a mermaid, and I know at one point it looked like it was some sort of like I couldn't quite tell, but it like some like slit. I guess that was the gills or whatever. And I'm like, because it was like on her side or whatever, and he kind of had his. Yeah, it was a little bit disgusting in the moment, but at the same time, I'm like, I can handle those just because I'm like, well, that's if there was some sort of medical procedure being happening because of that, because of something that was happening in regards to that, I'm like, well, that's interesting to me. Now I'm like, now I kind of want to know more, and I, because you're putting a realistic spin on things that on monsters and stuff that most people would not ever consider,
Yeah.
and I like that. Again, it has the etchy, and again, I know he says it from right from the get go. It's a medical clinic for monster girls, and I'm like, well, okay, so all of this is females. All right, whatever. I'm not gonna judge as far as that goes. I know how this just just put plot above the whole thing. Just plot. There we go. And then we're gonna do it like that. But as long as there's other things going along with that and whatnot, and I see that even in the picture, there's a bunch of different just a bunch of different monsters. And we have the centaur, we have the harpy in the background, we have I don't even know what the little priestess looking one is that covers her eyes or whatever.
Mhm.
We have his assistant who is a snake girl. Some other one off to the side. It looks like some sort of cat creature or something. And I'm like, there's a lot going on here. And I'm like, the more, even if this was a situation of like the monster of the week or whatever like that, I'm okay with that. They get injured or either in their day-to-day life or because they were battling or doing something else in this world or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'm all for that. Let me show me what's going on. Tell me what you have to do because maybe in a medical situation, it's like you would normally treat a human doing XYZ, but now that it's a monster, it's a little bit different, and you
Mhm.
have to take that into account. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. I would like to see that. So that's my hope. I almost guarantee it's anime, so it's like I probably am gonna have my hopes dashed against the rocks in some profound way or fashion, but it's still my hope. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Um, my thoughts on this one were, ew. There's a lot of the like procedures that he does are very graphic. Um,
They are, but I mean, I like that because to me that seems again more realistic.
yeah. So it ends up like kind of turning into like an ER show where you see these like different surgeries and procedures being done. Like you said, there's a ton of etchy for those out there who enjoy etchy, but there's also medical procedures. There's like information being given, especially like the whole shoeing a horse and all that kind of stuff. So the show seems to be a mix of a bunch of different things, and some things I can ignore. My main thing is I got to try to get over the whole like the gills thing. I was like, okay.
Looking back at the trailer too, just as what you were talking like about this, the gill thing too, it kind of interests me because you think most times like gills would be like on a typical fish. Most times gills are like towards the head, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're on their side.
Where the ribs are.
Yeah.
That's where the lungs are.
See, but then again, you wouldn't have thought that because you're like, well, if we're talking aquatic animal like fish and everything like that, that would be further up, not further down.
Yep.
So I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, well, that actually makes sense.
Yeah, that makes more sense than a lot of times in like live action movies where there's some kind of like aquatic like bipedal type of creature.
Yeah, like they do for Hellboy, where he had that dude, the dude who had Abe, who had the gills on his neck.
Yeah, always right here because it looks like the way a fish does instead of like how it actually operates on a like kind of like human type character. So, yeah. So I would say, how do you think it's gonna play out? Like you mentioned the whole monster of the week kind of thing. Do you think there's like an overarching like story?
If there is, I think they're gonna use it as just like kind of like the whole thing with the harpy's egg, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he has some sort of background where he actually is, a doctor, but he can also he's a warrior at the same time. Okay. Like maybe he put aside his warrior ways and like because in the very beginning they show a battlefield. Yeah. They show a battlefield and like dead not only people but also monsters and everything all over the place. And I'm like, maybe he was in years gone by a little bit. Maybe he was a warrior who eventually just decided he got enough of his bloodthirst and is like, I want to actually help people.
Or maybe one of those things where on his side, he didn't really know the truth about the people that they were fighting. And once he learned the truth, he's like, no, I gotta like kind of give back or like repay for all the damage that I've done kind of thing.
Yeah, that could be. Again, we probably are looking far too much into this than it probably deserves. Bottom baseline, it's gonna be a freaking ecchi comedy show. There are just so many things that you could do with it, and so many things that I would love to see them do with it, but I just don't. I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Okay. I'm curious if there's any other like doctors like him, or if like
that'd be cool to know too.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if like he has a lot of patients around him because he's the only one, or he's nice, and maybe the other ones like aren't nice or something. I'm curious.
So I will say that the source material for this one is a light novel.
Okay.
But it does have an alternative of a manga release for this as well. So.
All right. The next show we're going to be talking about is Muhyoto Ryori no Mahou Bitsu Sodan Jumusho 2, or the Bureau of Supernatural Investigation 2. This is the second season?
Yeah, but I say, did you see one?
I was like, when did the first season come out?
This looks like some old animation. Like this looks like this almost looks like the other one as far as how dated the animation looks.
Yeah. Here's the prequel. The prequel, 2018.
Really? God, I'd have thought it had been way sooner than that because looking at just this animation, I'm like,
yeah, it may be one of those shows that's like an homage. Wasn't there like one that was like old school '90s show with like that big lot, like big tiger looking thing, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's like old school anime." And I'm like, I don't know anime like this.
I mean, I've seen anime like that. Don't get me wrong. I've seen plenty of anime like that, but I mean, the reason I glanced over it was just because I saw that it was the sequel, second season to yada yada yada, and I'm like, well, I never saw the first season, so why would I watch the second season right now?
I didn't even. I wasn't paying attention.
And the
I was
first
like,
season, I'm like, I'm like, if I didn't watch the first, so now that really worries me, because if it came out, if the first season came out in 2018, and I never watched the first season, I know I was watching anime in 2018. Thank you very much. So why didn't I watch it?
Yeah. So I guess we'll do a double synopsis on this just to get us all caught up. For the first season, it says, "Are you a victim of unwanted spirit possession? Is there a ghost you need?"
Okay, I hate to interrupt you on that. I really do, but did you watch? Okay, so I know you've watched the thing for the second season, right?
Trailer, yes.
Did you watch the trailer for the first season?
No.
Just play it for me. Like, you don't even have to watch the whole thing. Just like skip about halfway through, or like a third of the way through, and look at the animation on that, and you tell me.
Okay. 1 second. Oh God, what did I do? Okay, here we go. Only a minute and 33.
Like,
this kind of reminds me of like.
Doesn't the animation look different?
Oh, I don't remember what the other one looked like.
Oh,
okay, so I'm seeing this one, and I'll go back to the first one. But did it open up another one? No, it's just.
so I'm just looking at that going, like, especially in the very beginning, it looked like, okay, at like 25 seconds on the first one. I'm like, that looks crisp. That looks, not necessarily highly detailed or anything, but it looks almost like the animation from the Demon School one that we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to this one, and I'm like, God, this looks dated. Is this still by the same studio?
That's what I was about to ask. So the second one's Studio Dean, and then the first one is
Studio Dean.
Studio Dean. Yeah, I would say between the two trailers, one is like kind of like hanging around with the characters, and then the second one is like very more thematic. It's like one's a lot of stuff is done at nighttime and at sunset. So
I don't know. It seems like they changed the art style on it, to me at least. I could be completely off basis, but it seems like they did. Like they went from like a very modernized, not so much detailed type of animation for the first one, and then the second one they're like, we're gonna go old school with some detailing on certain things. Like even like the way they have the shadows on their eyes differs, it looks like.
Okay.
I don't know. Either way, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh, no worries. So the synopsis for the first one is: Are you a victim of unwanted spirit possession? Is there a ghost you need? Is there a ghost you need sent up and away, or down to burn for all eternity? If the answer is yes, then you need Ryoja, I'm mixing the names together. Muhyo and Roji, new experts in magic law, serving justice to evil spirits as is their specialty. Okay, so it's like a little bureau.
Oh my god. The one that, okay, I'm looking at that in the first one. Look at the characters, the main character. Look at the picture they gave him, and then look at the voice actor for him, Japanese voice actor.
Uh-huh.
They look very similar to
Yes,
each
they
other.
do. Same haircut and everything.
Same haircut, same kind of roundish face, and he looks so young too. And I'm like, wow, y'all almost nailed that one. All right, cool.
Oh no, that's a different show. Never mind. But yeah, and then the second season just says that it's the second season. So yeah, it's like this little detective agency that they solve stuff for you. I put it on my list because one, I wasn't really sure if it's like a show for me, but it is the occult, and I see I see a lot of evil magic. Some of the characters look interesting, but it reminds me of Detective Conan. So I feel like it's gonna be a Monster of the Week show, and it doesn't seem like there'll be any real stakes. Like there'll be an issue that you need resolved right now, but we'll figure it out, and it'll be over by the end of the episode. So I'm gonna
one of those where there's like a 2 or 3 parter one.
yeah, like every now and then they'll throw in one of those, but that's after they like build up. You got to build up all the characters first.
Yeah,
Because if there's no like if the story doesn't have enough weight to it, they're like, why did you stretch this across 3 episodes? Like, y'all could have solved that real easy. So, yeah, I'm curious about this one. I don't know where it is, but I will. But okay, it's on Crunchyroll. Okay, I will start it and see if I want to join in. How do I think it'll play out? Yeah, I think that they're gonna have to develop the characters. Like, I don't know. I guess the agency's gonna be built already, and one episode you'll learn about their teamwork and how they like solve everything really quickly, and then they'll break out and go into each different character and like how they became part of the agency, why the main character is as good as he is, or why they work so well together, and then once you learn that, then that's when the heavy stuff will start hitting. That's when they'll have like 2-part episodes and stuff like that.
yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's interesting. I think the last time we watched the show that had like occult themes and stuff like that was Occultic 9 or something like that. And I think we were all confused, or at least I know I was confused.
Pretty sure we were all confused.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a while since we watched something like that. The next show we're going to be talking about is Ochikorobe Kobore Fruit Tart, or Dropout Idol Fruit Tart.
Here's another music one. Let me guess. Music one and cute girls doing cute things.
Oh, God. That caused the wrong time. Most likely. Let me. Well, that's loading. Let's see. First words. Cute girls doing cute things.
Nailed it.
Yep. And that's also saying a variety of characters I'm looking about. Ditzy main character, already not my favorite. Yeah. Scroll. There we go. So this is done by Studio Feel, which
what the hell is they done?
I want to say off the top of my head, I want to think.
Oh God, one of your favorites. No wonder.
Okay, so they did Galco, which
2018.
I hated Galco.
2018.
I know, I saw it, but but then they did the Gashikashi, which I was interested in, and I'm like, maybe. I was already on board because they've done My Love Comedy Snafu, which is one of my own favorite shows.
They did.
And then And you know what? You know what? Because of all these other shows that they've done, I'm like, you know what? In your early days, yeah, go ahead and explore. But
You sound like a parent being like, you know what? You're young. You're still learning. You need to explore. Oh shit!
but then in 2018, they knocked it completely out of the park with Island. And then they're like, all right, we're a little bit tired from Island. Let's have some fun. And then they did Hina Matsuri. I am all on board for this show. They're coming back this year with I Love Comedy Snafu finale and this new show that I know nothing about. And they already got enough stars in my book to where I will check this out. So, the synopsis for this show is fourth dormitory of rat production, commonly known as Nezumi-so, the place where dropout idol girls live. The former child actor Sekino Roko, a musician Nikui Hayu, and a model Maehara Nini. Sakura, who always dreamed of becoming an idol, moves in. Wait, it says former. Like, okay. At the same time, the decision is made to demolish the dormitory, of course, due to the project launched by the manager Kajino. Ho. Oh, fruit tart. The occupants of the dormitory form a new idol called Fruit Tart, and they start the activities in order to repay 100 million yen debt. Wow.
That's gonna take a bit.
Shit. So they gotta make $1 million.
That's gonna take a hot minute. Now, is that 100 yen or is that 100 US dollars?
100. So 100 million yen is $100 million. And
got it.
It's like 2 extra places.
Wait, why did they have to do that? Why are they in charge of like the storage expenses? I mean, I know that would be something obvious that you would think about right from the get-go, but I'm just sitting here going, wait, why?
So I feel like the manager is very sneaky, and she's like
her debt on top of them.
Yeah, like they don't know that their place is in debt. She's like, "Hey guys, how about we start an idol group?" And they're like, "Oh, that sounds like fun." She's like, "Yes, make money before we lose our house." So I feel like this is gonna be a fun show, just from the different, like you have a variety of characters. So all the characters are gonna have different backgrounds. You have one who doesn't really seem like she's a formal idol. It seems like she wants to be an idol. So I can see why she would be the first one to join in on the group. She's like, "Oh, I've always wanted to be an idol. This is my chance to do it." Even though I feel like they're not really like, I don't know. It's like if it was just a group that they're like, "We're just going to be an idol group to be an idol group," that'd be kind of cool for her. But she's like, "We're going to be an idol group because we owe money."
How very real life of you.
Yeah, I hope that her dreams kind of don't get dashed where she's like, "Oh, here's my chance," but it's like bittersweet because you have to do it. But yeah, how do I think this is gonna play out? I feel like it's gonna play out just like that other Idol show, where it's like you have a bunch of different characters with different backgrounds. They all have their own little unique things. You're either gonna spend a little bit of time with each, or you're gonna follow this one is most likely you're gonna follow the main girl, and you get sprinklings of all the other characters. And they have a goal of being an idol, so you'll follow that, and that's where the drama goes. what the drama is, and um, it seems like they might almost make it, but then something will go wrong.
Oh, I guarantee you. I totally guarantee you.
So, I'm hoping for lots of comedy. It looks very like just the picture looks silly, so it looks like it's gonna be a fun ride. Let's see. The next show we're going to talk about is ReZero. Again, hey, welcome back, ReZero. You're supposed to air this season.
And we'll see if you air next season. Or are we going to be waiting for the fall for you to come around?
If it gets delayed again, I might just watch the first season all over again.
It was really good.
It was very good. And like Ray doesn't know about it. And now that I'm like taking over the TV, like,
you're gonna learn now.
So, but yeah, we shall see. This is a very hype show, and a show that a lot of things came from in the anime community, like twins and all that kind of stuff. So, also this is one of those shows where the world building, like I could kind of see where everything took place in the world and like how it was expanding.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I part of me wants to like revisit that just so I can just cement my ideas on the show. Little sidetrack, like with Sword Art Online, me going back to watch it, a lot of stuff happened way quicker than I thought. The little girl who's like little dragon got killed. I'm like, that was episode 3. I was like, whoa, he just got here and he's like saving people's familiars and stuff like that. So I kind of want to like go back for this show. Like I remember the giant monster that was like, you should have done what you were supposed to do. And I was like, oh no. So
don't hurt me.
So I kind of like want to revisit that and stuff like, but I don't know. It's like there's so many different moments in that show that like shook me to my core, and I'm like I just remembered. So hopefully it comes out in the next few weeks and we can watch it. I think the next one was Sword Art. The next we're actually going to talk about is The God of High School.
Now, I'm really kind of curious about this because I thought Crunchyroll was literally doing all of this stuff on their own through them as a production studio and whatnot. And because this is another Crunchyroll original. And this is another one just like Tower of God, which again, the word God is reappearing again. But this is another one just like Tower of God.
Every single original has the word God in it.
Yeah, basically.
The God.
Yeah, they are, their own thing. But no, this one's being done by Mappa.
Yeah, so I think what they're doing is like the Netflix approach, which is like one of the studio that basically started all of these like originals series, where it's basically just like Crunchyroll, they are a hub for everybody else's content. And to make sure that they stay around, they need to make their own content. So what they're doing is they're funding all of these other projects or buying the project from somebody who made it and they're trying to shop it around to get it onto their platform. So just like with Crunchyroll, it's like Funimation will never have this show. High Dive will never have this show. It is a Crunchyroll original.
Why can't they make all those shows that way then? All Crunchyroll originals across the board. Everybody, Crunchyroll originals. Yeah, I am just in the same realm as Tower of God. I'm super excited about this. I will say So synopsis for this one. It all began as a fighting tournament to seek out for the best fighter among all high school students in Korea. Mori Jin, a Taekwondo specialist and a high school student, soon learns that there is something much greater beneath the stage of the tournament. So, yeah. I mean, I like the fact that it's just like some sort of martial arts tournament thing that every one of, I guess, the people in school attends or something. I don't know. It's weird. I'm still all about it. I'm still like, all right, cool. I want to see where this goes. You know, and seeing him like pole vaulting over freaking car trucks and things on his motorcycle or whatever, and I'm like, is this normal life? Is this just how things are? I mean, what are we doing here? But apparently so. So I'm like, cool. Um, yeah, and of course, looking at the action, like every single action piece is like quite literally over the top.
Yeah.
In everything that it does. You know, their blows that they hit each other with are so severe. They're literally like you can see the wind speed and reaction coming from them.
Yeah.
Like the dust particles as they move, and I'm like, all right, God High School, you got my attention. You can let go of that just a little bit because I'm already down for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I am highly looking forward to this one. If it wasn't for the fact of some of the other ones having been delayed or whatnot, I honestly, I want to say because of that, this is probably my most hyped show.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's tied between this and ReZero.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so ReZero in this one. Sword Art would have made at the top of that list too, but it's unfortunately being pushed back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm all about this. I'm really curious to see where this goes, and even if it's just some basic, tournament fighting style, fight of the week kind of situation deal, I'm still okay with that.
Yes. I actually added this to my list as well because I haven't seen a tournament focused show in a long time.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's like some of the originals are like Yu Yu Hakusho and
Shoot, I remember one that I did that was pure tournament and about as somewhat realistic as you can get was Baki the Grappler.
Mm-hmm. And then ones that are like supernatural is like Flame of Rekka, certain arcs of Dragon Ball Z, parts of My Hero. Like there's been shows that are around that have tournament arcs in them, but there hasn't been a show that's just the boxing one. Rock'em Sock'em Robot. Yeah, Megalobots. Yes. So I like really, really like this is basically a sports anime for me. Yeah, so I'm very excited about this one. I do like how there's something in the background that will be revealed that might change the whole story.
In the background, where though? Which part of it?
Or it's like there's something much greater beneath the stage of the tournament.
I don't know. Either way, I'm down for it.
And yeah, Mappa. I'm like excited. Like I lived it. Man, this mouse. Oh, no. There we go. Basically, I feel like you're gonna follow the guy with the blue pants, and it's kind of gonna be like the idol thing, where it's like you follow each of the characters, and so all the characters are gonna fight each other next. And I wonder how the thing beneath the tournament is gonna be revealed. Is like one character gonna disappear, or they're gonna be like waiting for their turn to get like for their fight to come up, and they're gonna just be exploring the halls and discover something. Like, is it in this one big building, or is it like out in like this giant field, kind of like Seven Deadly Sins? Like, I'm curious, like, about a lot of the setting.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a lot left open. I mean, again, and that synopsis doesn't really give you a lot, and honestly gives you more questions than it does answers. But I'm more interested just to see how this progresses and where this is going with what's the ultimate goal between all of this, because there's got to be an ultimate goal. There's got to be a reasoning behind it, why all these people are fighting and everything. But
I wonder if it's like that one show where it's like the higher ups are like betting on people, and like they have something to do with like certain fighters, and they like wagering.
Yeah, that could be the case.
Everybody clap your hands.
Oh God. Why did you have to bring him back up? No, leave him alone.
Yeah, I'm excited for this show. Like, really, really excited. Out of all the shows, this is the one that's like the most hype, but it's not the one I'm looking forward to the most. Like, this one I'm just like, oh, they're gonna be fighting crazy. So, yeah. The next show we're gonna be talking about, complete adrenaline drop, is Azuki-chan wa Asobitai, or Azuki-chan wants to hang out. So,
I briefly glanced over this, and I was like, really? I can see where this would be a really good show for certain people, but this is definitely one of those best friends forever, since they could crawl around and talk essentially.
Yeah.
And now he's in college, and I don't know, maybe she just, I don't even know if she's an actual student there or she actually just follows him around basically.
Yeah. The trailer for this one was a total roller coaster. Like you said, it started out like with both of them being just the best of friends, and then there's some incident happened, and like the mood of the trailer like completely changed.
Mm-hmm.
So it turned into one of those like high school super nervous around each other romance kind of things.
Hey, what the hell is with her mouth? She has this fang that comes down.
Yeah, that means she's a fun character.
Okay. Like every time she opens her mouth, I see this fang, and I'm like, why do you have a fang? Where even is it? She's like, no, I have fang. It's fine. And I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yeah, that's though a lot of characters that have that tend to be my favorite characters because they're like the silliest and most rambunctious.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's like her as a character, I feel like she's gonna be my favorite because she was just laughing out loud at him the whole time at the beginning of the trailer.
Oh, she's laughing at him and then teasing the crap out of him too.
Yeah, it is. So I was like, okay, she's gonna be fun. And then something happened, and she's like completely different. So I'm like, whoa, what happened? Did things get weird? Y'all said it wasn't gonna get weird, and it got weird. So yeah, I'm like really, really excited to see like the whole progression of the show. Just like the other show, why I put it up there, romance. So I'm kind of curious. I don't even know anything about this guy. Like, why does she like him?
He seems pretty ordinary to me.
Yeah, is it like one of those shows where like she's super clever and he's just goofy and kind of like nervous, like that other show that I like, where the girl was teasing him through the whole show too? I don't know. It's like I kind of like that scenario, so I'm curious if this is gonna be the same.
Yeah. Well, your curiosity in that regards is bigger than mine is, so I will leave that one wholeheartedly to you.
So yeah, I'm curious about that. I don't think it's gonna play out. I feel like you're gonna see. Are we gonna see them as kids? I think we're gonna definitely get flashbacks. Because for them to be that close, for her to just laugh at him like that and tease him, I'm like, they have to have known each other for a long time.
Oh, they have to.
Yeah, those two characters. There's also two characters behind them. I'm like, are they in the same group, or are they just two random people? Like, I'm kind of curious, like what the whole group dynamic is.
I'm not even like I'm trying to even fathom that right now. And I'm just like, that's just no, just no.
Yeah, like is it like the normal quote unquote couple where two just regular people, and then like the other weird couple where like the girl's crazy teasing him all the time, and he's just like boring. But yeah, I wonder. Let's say they are all friends. You have the regular couple, you have the silly couple, and one thing happens, and then they start becoming a more serious couple, but the dynamic completely changes.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is definitely one of those just relationship slice of life type animes. I don't necessarily see anything supernatural unless you're considering her height with how well busted she is to be supernatural in some way, shape, or form. Because it's absolutely hilarious how short she is in comparison to everyone else. Yet she's just got like, and they make mentions of it too, of how just, yeah. Anyways,
I realized I forgot to go over the synopsis. So the synopsis goes: Sakurai's Shinichi's one wish for is for peace and quiet, but Azuki Hana, his boisterous, well-endowed underclassman, has other plans. All she wants to do is hang out and poke fun at him. With the help of her chipper charm and peppy persistence, this might be the start of a beautiful relationship. Okay.
Which is probably what's going to end up happening.
Yep.
Much to his consternation of being the fact that like I don't want to do these things. Stop making me do these things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
It'll be interesting, but again, I see it as a slice of life, and I'm like,
Not enough fantasticalness to it, or interesting.
Yeah. Hell, the last relationship slice of life one that I watched was the one where they were playing a MMO. Oh, MMO Junkie.
I need to finish that one too.
That was a good one, but I liked it because we went between the real world and the video game world. I like that.
Yeah.
We made it interesting. She just makes it interesting because she just teases the shit out of him. That's about the extent of how it's. Yes. He just keeps finding new ways to torture him, essentially.
Yeah, I wish I could remember what that other one was because it's basically the same concept too. Yeah. So the next show and the last show we're gonna be talking about is Yahari Ore no Seishun wa love comedy wa Machigai Tenkan, or My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu Climax.
Season 3.
Yes.
Have you watched the other seasons?
Yes, I actually
You're caught up on this one?
No. I thought you said, am I watching? So, yes, I'm watching the other ones. So.
Never mind. I'm giving you more credit than you deserved on that.
Well, I would be caught up, but I was watching it in this room and the projector broke. It's like something's against me. It's like, you'll never be caught up. But
on the projector, sure.
I definitely blame this show not being caught up on the projector. I had to go to a whole other room and set up in there. So,
Oh my god, a whole other room. Oh my goodness, it's horrible.
yeah, because now Riri can't watch the TV because I got it. But yeah. So for this show, I was watching the first season, and I watched the trailer, and I was like, "What are y'all talking about?" And then I watched most of the first season, and then I watched the trailer again just to be like, "Okay, what were they talking about again?" And I'm like, "Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, this is gonna be good." So I'm doubly excited about this show now, but I'm not caught up yet. So
You're only on the first season.
yeah. So I'm gonna be catching up. There's 3, right?
This is the third one.
Well, there's 3 like shows that we've talked about that are coming out in summer that, well, 4 if you count the detective ones, which I don't know. But there's Sword Art that I need to catch up on, which I'm in. Oh, that's what it was, firefighters guys.
Yep.
Yeah. So I need to watch season 1 of the Firefighter Guys, and I need to watch the rest of season 1 and season 2 for this show, and I'll be ready. Good. I got a little bit more time for Sword Art. This is delayed till October. But
I have a feeling. I have a feeling you're gonna say that now, and then come October, you're gonna be like, I was supposed to watch an anime, I think, and catch up on something. And I'll be like, Sword Art? You're like, yeah!
Oh yeah. So let's see. The synopsis for this one is the 3rd season of I'm just gonna call it Snafu because that's easier to say. As the members of the service club band together to host a school prom, Hachiman, Yukino, and Yui will have to put their feelings into words and truly learn to understand each other at long last. Is the service club, if the service club can even stay afloat, that is. I know at the beginning of the series that there wasn't really trouble with, like, the only trouble that they had was keeping enough members. I'm wondering if because of all the situations that they've gone through, did like some of them threaten to leave, or did some of them take like a hiatus, and now they gotta get back together? I don't know. This is like a whole season and a half of stuff that's happened since then. But that's the only, because I know one of the teachers was in charge of it, and she basically dragged 2 of the people into it, and because I don't know, she felt like they were a good fit to kind of like liven. Basically, all of them would help each other out in certain ways. Just like, you're gloomy, you need some brightness in your life. You are also very like meticulous, and you need some disarray in your life. You are super duper bubbly, and you need some discipline. And she like mixed them all together, and then they made the club. So
nice.
Yeah, so they all like fit really nicely, but then it also makes like a love triangle. Wait, there's a 4th girl. Hey, a 3rd girl. Okay, throw something extra into the mix. I don't know. I'm really excited about this because I like these characters. Even watching the first season over again, because I know I watched the first one all the way through, but watching it over again, it's just like when I was watching Sword Art, where I'm like, I remember certain things taking place. I just don't know. I don't remember when they took place. So I think I'm mentally all caught up with my memories of this show, and now I just need to figure out how the first season ends, and then I need to catch up on that.
Hurry up and finish the 2nd season before the 3rd season starts.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really don't want to, but I may put Sword Art on the back burner for a little bit so I can get through the firemen's in this one. But that's dangerous. I'm already on a roll with Sword Art. So And then there's everything else that's like airing this season. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I really want to be on time for this show. Like, I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for all the shows that we have this season. We will be back on the 28th of June. That is 4 weeks from now. And we will be talking about our final thoughts on this season. So, yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little. I want to be hopeful for this, and again, it's the summer season. I know we have a lot of things going on with this. I just, I don't know. Things in the world right now just aren't conducive for having things to be, I guess, nice for most part.
Yeah, it seems like a few shows are still going, or some shows are still going. A few of them are on hiatus. So by the time the next episode comes, there's no telling, like, where we're like, oh, so Food Wars is started back up. So let's talk about that.
Food Wars started, and then they're like, and then all the other shows we talked about, yeah, they're all on hiatus now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's disappointing, but it means there's nothing really can be done about it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, we will adjust according to when things get back in production, and yeah. So that's our thoughts on all the synopses and trailers for this upcoming season. And as always, this is DK and Shay for TacoYaki Anime. I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Thanks for hanging out in the chat. Thanks for supporting the channel in any way that you do. And we will see y'all next time.